and then just contain it.
Hello, I am Dr. Lyric Knowles, Director of Academic Affairs at Genesis Academy. At Genesis, we celebrate many events during the school year. We love celebrations for two primary reasons. Celebrations are usually commemorative events that provide valuable, teachable moments and a focused time to reflect. And celebrations are fun. Well, as you know, July 10, 2023 was the 50th anniversary of independence for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and we decided Genesis would go all out to express our pride in this great country, the people who work so tirelessly to make it great, and the special characteristics of our culture and environment with which we are blessed. We got in line with the national plans for the 50th anniversary, and we determined that all of our celebrations in 2023 would have as a focus some feature of national pride. Very early in our planning, we settled on a theme that would reflect prominently in the national spirit and the faith initiative as outlined in the preamble to our Constitution. We borrowed the inspired words of the late Timothy Gibson, the writer and composer of our national anthem, "Till the road you trod lead unto your God, march on Bahama land," as the basis of our national pride logo and theme. Our theme was marching toward our God. It summarizes what we believe to be our greatest mission. Our logo featured much of the Genesis emblems encased in the national colors. Our principal personally added the feature of the children proudly marching toward our God. As the visual center of our theme, the logo became our central decorative feature. We appreciate Tristan Benaby, the artist and graphic artist who captured our vision and provided us with the perfect logo. Through much prayer, much planning, and a great leap of faith, we envisioned what we believe to be a dynamic 50th year celebration program. Our plans had 4 basic objectives. 1. Connect students with the persons who across the spectrum of Bahamian society led in nation building. 2. Celebrate the uniqueness of Bahamian culture and heritage. 3. Secure eminently qualified authorities to conduct workshops and lectures on topics of Bahamian lifestyles and accomplishments over the past 50 years. And 4, over a 2-day period, in this case, Thursday, March 16th through Friday, March 17th, transform the entire campus into a concentrated zone of Bahamian pride, celebration, and of course, fun. With the planning phase completed, the real work began. We focused all our efforts on transforming our campus into a textbook of the past 50 years of Bahamian history. We had exactly 1 month to pull it all together. It was a daunting task, but Genesis is blessed with a dynamic leadership team which we rightfully call the Dynamic Duo. Melody Hanna and Beryl Knowles, our principal and vice principal, are a force of nature when it comes to organization and particularly in bringing a vision to life. By the end of this program, you will see how their resourceful leadership was pivotal in the success of our plans. Here's a peek behind the scene at just some of their preparatory work for our celebration.
Independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas. sisters to join in unity for independence. Let's get ready to be free. Independent nation, it is true. No matter what we may say or do, sing it high, hey, sing it low. Sing it wherever you may go. In the church or on the streets, sing it too by old sis me. Hey, independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas. Yeah. Union strength, we all agree. Let's march together and be free. We'll face the weather, rough or fair. For independence, let's all prepare. Independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas. Independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas. Independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas. Independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas.
Right here. That's good, right here. Okay, let me switch it.
Yeah, that's King Boy on bass.
It was just days before the grand opening, and the whole school was buzzing with activity. There were flags and drapery in national colors to be hung, and the auditorium became our shack, the hub for our creative teams to congregate. The atmosphere was perfect for creative counseling and mentoring. The principal found in Lauren Cargill, our 2023 valedictorian, a daughter to whom she could transfer her artistic vision and skill in decorating and set design.
That's fine. If we could do it, yeah, somebody might be able to type. You just have to open them up. If they do small, just do them the next way, and then it'll just be smaller. You know what I mean? Okay? And then like I say, we add here to flare this out later. Okay? To the end. Okay? But you got the right idea. You learned something today, Lauren. Now you know how to make a coconut tree.
Now, to the principal's delight, her mentoring did not end there. She found other daughters who were willing to follow her around and observe every tip about decorating on a grand scale.
So we have to take this one. We have to take this one. And we have to move that over this way. Okay? Get up a second. Let's go from this end. You have to start from the ends first and then make your adjustment. Okay? So bring the thing over here. Let me start this end and then you all could do the ends.
The mentees, all of whom were from the class of 2023, were delighted to participate in making Genesis ready to celebrate our nation's 50th. Or maybe they were just happy to be out of class.
I like volunteering for National Pride because it shows some level of maturity that the little kids can look up to, and it can help them better themselves because they have examples.
I enjoy helping out for National Pride Week because I enjoy decorating and stuff like that. So putting all the stuff together was really enjoyable for me.
I'm excited for the activities and stuff that Genesis will have for us so that we're able to experience the true love that everyone has for the Bahamas.
It shows my love for the country. That's it.
While it was generally a time for marching together in love and unity, there were arguments.
Yeah.
No way. Okay, now you're going to break it, Naima. How are you going to break a lot if I stand on it?
Well, so much for love and unity. But the work in the shack was progressing smoothly on every level. Everyone had an assignment, and we were thrilled with the progress. We began to believe we just might pull it off. One of the great benefits of activities such as this is the opportunity to engage our staff in ways that build strong relationships and brings out their creativity. We were just 2 days away from the big rush, or as we say in Junkanoo, only 2 days to bait. Our displays of national heroes were looking good, and we were encouraged by our staff who took care in the preparations.
This is the team getting ready for National Pride. Hello, ladies. And what exactly are you all doing? Excellent, excellent, excellent. And ladies, what are you doing?
Well, we are organizing the pictures for our display of the past religious leaders, athletes, and politicians.
Very good.
That made them
It looks lovely. Everything looks lovely so far.
This is the landscape one.
Our high school students made us proud, particularly the 12th graders who so ably assisted in the transformation of that campus. Under the guidance of Miss Ria Trico and Miss Satara Wilkinson, the high school was decorated in national symbol silhouettes, and displays were mounted of our nation's great educators. The students worked hard, and the results were fabulous. With only 2 days to our grand opening, all hands were on deck, regardless of their degree of talent. Where we were short on talent, we were saved, as I said earlier, by gifted leaders like Vice Principal Knowles and Principal Hanna. Under their direction, the least of us became great sculptors, builders, and artists. The job was to construct the set for the center stage where most of the celebration would take place. The set was designed to celebrate the natural beauty of our land and sea. The idea was simple, yet eloquently presented, of our school's 50th year logo surrounded by our flamingo garden and our coral reefs. The land and the sea, two features that we are blessed with in the Bahamas. As we worked fervently on the outside to complete our sets, Mrs. Johnson, our high school math teacher and celebrated dance instructor and choreographer, was busily rehearsing the dance for the opening ceremonies. The day before the grand opening was a flurry of activity. Genesis was energized. The students became soberly aware of the significance of the celebrations. They dedicated themselves to the completion of the work. The center stage was erected and set in place. A massive tent was set up in the center of the square to accommodate seating for 200 people. All around the campus, final touches were being made. On displays, on fences, on the ground. It was all coming together bit by bit. Even Mr. Knowles, our administrator and business manager, became involved.
What's it? Lock your hands. Lock your hands. Lift with your leg.
Giorgio, somebody need to be on that end. Giorgio, somebody need to be over here. Somebody needs we need somebody here. Somebody need to go here. Okay, go ahead. Make sure it's on evenly now. Fix it on evenly. Listen here, boys. Make sure the front is covered. Make sure the front is covered.
The students truly made their presence felt as they organized teams to complete the various tasks. Their efforts were captured in this moment when they laid out some 300 chairs for the celebrations.
Now y'all doing it. Now you got a system going. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah, y'all doing good.
Now making progress.
You're making progress. Right.
With the stage covered, we faced our final task decorating our centerpiece. Weeks of work culminated in this moment. On this final day, we did not get much help from the weather. In fact, it rained throughout the day, but we pushed forward. We were encouraged as we paused just long enough to see just how we were progressing. Around 5 p.m., we saw just how much we had achieved. So much was completed. The campus was transformed into the history of Bahamian pride that we imagined. Once again, we felt the favor of God upon us. Once again, we saw what faith in God could do. We took on a challenge much bigger than ourselves, but we proceeded with it because we trusted God. So you can imagine our Thanksgiving went at the 11th hour. Fighting torrential rains, we were comforted by what God had done to bring us through. On our first day of celebration, I do not believe there was a spot in our nation that sparked with national pride brighter than Genesis. It was the beginning of a 2-day journey through 50 years of an independent Bahamas. Our students, teachers, administration, parents, and visitors all made it clear that they were proud to be Bahamian and relished in the occasion. Unlike the day before, with its frequent squalls of rain, it was sunny but cool. Just the right day for a festival. I told you, our God is a great God. Everything was set to go. The sound system was tested and ready. Our guests were all seated comfortable, and excited to see what the day had to offer. Our students and teachers were smartly dressed in our specially designed 50th anniversary t-shirts, created just for this grand occasion. Our special guest arrived, Genesis Christian Service Award patron, Dr. Rex Major, who, by the way, is the only surviving clergyman of the group that participated in our nation's first ecumenical service, arrived first. His arrival was followed shortly by Her Excellency, the Honorable Leslie Miller Bryce, Ambassador to CARICOM and Chair Lady of the 50th Anniversary Celebration Secretariat. She was followed by the Honorable Glennis Hanna Martin, Minister of Education. Following their arrival, our opening ceremonies began, eloquently led by Miss Julie Stewart, Vice Principal of the elementary school. The hour-long ceremony commenced with an opening prayer by our Student of the Year, 6th grader Isaac Wright. 2nd grade student Eva Hudson and 3rd grade student Jacob Clark led us respectively in our national pledge and our pledge to the Bible. These pledges were followed by the singing of our national anthem written by Mr. Timothy Gibson and our school song written and composed by another Timothy, Mr. Timothy Trico, a grandparent of the school. The primary objective of our opening ceremony was to set the tone for our two-day celebration, which was designed to connect our students to the roles of persons and institutions responsible for the great achievements of our nation during its first 50 years. The message came through strongly as we introduced our first cultural expression of the program.
One of the things that the celebrations of 1973 stimulated was our drive to identify our country's national cultural treasures, particularly in the areas of drama, music, and dance. We sought the best talent to form groups to celebrate the various elements of the arts. As a result of that, a number of cultural academies were started, such as the New Breed Dancers, the National School of Dance, and numerous music and drama societies. Dancing on that very eve was a young high schooler by the name of Victoria McIntosh. She later went on to become a leader in dance in the Bahamas. Now, that lady happened to be the mother of our teacher and dance instructor, Mrs. Josie Johnson. Now, Miss McIntosh has birthed another generation of dance instructors, and what her daughter, Mrs. Johnson, does today will influence what happens in the next 50 years of our country. It is a continual passing of the baton. Now coming to perform our first celebratory piece, choreographed by Mrs. Tiara Josie Johnson, is the Genesis Dance Troupe. They will be dancing to My Bahamian Ting. Let's welcome them as they come.
first guest speaker, Her Excellency Leslie Miller Bryce, a parent of Genesis, encouraged us and linked our celebrations to the national celebrations, of which she was the national coordinator.
Genesis Academy, let me hear you. 242. 242. Okay, now we're ready. It is indeed my pleasure to be here with each and every one of you at today's special assembly under the theme, Marching Towards God. This theme is so timely because as we celebrate our nation's 50th anniversary, in all things we do, we must put God first. God has been so good to our beautiful Bahamas. He has blessed all of us with the privilege of being citizens of this amazing country. You can see God in the beauty of our country. You can feel Him in our resilience and determination, and you can seek Him freely in a country that allows you to worship as you choose and where you choose, and that is such a beautiful experience.
In her delicate, charming fashion, Excellency Miller Bryce truly connected with our students, and we were grateful for her uplifting message. She was followed by our high school dance team who swayed to the rhythm of Ronnie Butler's Bahama Rock.
Hey, 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 Bahama Rock. Everybody's out there on the dock, doing what we call
Come back once you
Bahama Rock. Hey, 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 Bahama Rock. Early in the morning, late at night, everybody's happy, no one's tight. Early in the morning, late at night, everybody's happy, no one's tight. Rock from sun to sun, and then we give the return of the sun. Oh yeah, Bahama Rock. Oh yeah, Bahama Rock. Everybody's out there on the dock, doing what we call Bahama Rock. Yeah, oh yeah, Bahama Rock. Lots of people all around the other islands and Nassau town. They get together to do their thing. Oh man, how they dance and sing like a superstar. We're gonna give it to our man under we talk.
The second part of the program focused on the very serious subject of nationhood and revisited the laws, values, and history that led us to independence. Sixth graders Mariah Smith and Ty Williams read the preamble to our Constitution. 12th graders Daniel Paul and Rachel Quant read a summary of our fundamental rights and freedoms. Minister of Education, the Honorable Glennis Hanna Martin, gave a passionate address before declaring the two-day celebration opened.
The journey to independence began before you were born. Most of you, there's one or two of you. I'm not calling any names. Principal Hanna, sorry. Before July 10th, but I want to say that the journey was initiated by your grandparents and great-grandparents. Before July 10th, 1973, this territory, this archipelago, was the property of the United Kingdom, a country thousands of miles away and very culturally different. To understand that more, you must learn the history of slavery and colonialism, two very important phenomena in human history, which were associated with exploitation and oppression and great suffering. The fuel and energy of which I speak, of our people, which led our people to independence, was to break away from this past and make new declarations of who we are and what we are and what we can be, to see how the world marks the manner of our bearing, to lift our heads to the rising sun, marching to glory, our bright banners waving high. You have to understand what we were saying coming out of that history.
Sixth graders Amara Miller and Ethan Farquharson and 12th graders Jaden McKenzie and Elise Thompson recited the prayer that was given by Dr. Rex Major at the very first National Ecumenical Service of our new nation 50 years ago. As of this date, Dr. Major is the only surviving member of that distinguished group of clergymen. Dr. Major, on the occasion of the 50th year as Minister of the Gospel, was named Patron of the Genesis Christian Service Award, the highest civic award presented by Genesis Academy. The opening ceremony ended with presentations made to Minister Hanna Martin and Her Excellency Leslie Miller Bryce by K-5 students Tony Forbes and Grade 1 student Ayo Martin. They presented our very special guest with special creations and treats made by Miss Ria Trico and Miss Sherelle Trico, both teachers of Genesis. Special gifts were also presented to Her Excellency by K-5 student Shiloh Thurston and Grade 2 student Layla Trico. As the opening ceremonies concluded, the excitement went to a higher level as the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band made its way through our Lover's Lane and onto the grounds of the high school for a grand concert. The concert was interactive and the band performed popular songs with which the students readily identified. The students loved being included in their elaborate routines. It's an honor to host the police band, and we express our deepest thanks to Superintendent Selden Adderley and Assistant Inspector Tabori Dean, who made it so easy for us to coordinate this spectacular performance to the delight of our students, teachers, and visitors. We thank the members of the band. We are so proud of the great Bahamian talent that was on display that morning. Who knows? You may have incidentally inspired the next director of the band. We'll check in with you in another 10 years to see if my words are prophetic. After the pageantry of the police band, the crowd dispersed to view the magnificent displays of Bahamian history, all of which were created by our staff and students and displayed across various campuses.
Hello everyone. I thought our opening ceremony this morning went exceptionally well. The kids were well behaved, they were totally entertained, they were focused, they enjoyed lots of new information about our country, and we were happy to present it to them. So I must say we're off to a great start. The display we did in the preschool was about art, music, and culture. And our teachers worked exceptionally hard to pull this off. I have a great team here, and as you can see, it's well displayed on grand pianos, and we featured 15 outstanding Bahamians in art, music, and culture. So we were delighted to do this setup here for you, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
As you saw, the arts and craft cultural display in the preschool was very well received. Another display that was popular was a historical visualization called The Road We Trod. It was a simple but engaging road map, which chronicled the major accomplishments of our nation over the past 50 years. The journey also highlighted the unique features of each of our family islands. The road became a discussion centerpiece, which served to educate our young people on just how much we have achieved, and at the same time, help the older generation to reflect on the great distance we have traveled in the development of our Bahama land. Our principal, who served as curator of the display, delighted in educating and highlighting all of its significant features.
I was going to say they have the fishing tournament. The fishing tournament. Yeah. They catch those big stuff. Yeah. And then this is the containers. Grand Bahama.
As you know, no Bahamian celebration can take place in the absence of great Bahamian food. Well, we had all the good stuff, and our grade 5 teacher, Miss Chanel Carey, could not keep up with the demand.
Salty left, one salty. Pineapple tart, coconut tart. No one salty. There we go, Larry.
All right, Pastor Hanna, so we're out here, we're selling some coconut tart, pineapple tart, salty, and you missed my whole display. I had all the cups, the baggies, you know, the children don't know about this, so we have to teach them, and look, I'm collecting. So we're having a good time. The line has gone down now, but they're still waiting. Yes, come, bring us all the money.
All my money, you all have it. All my money. Thank you. Okay.
All for a good cause, good cause.
You ready? Yeah? Right there. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all order lunch?
No.
TV, where you lunch? Okay, so I can order after that.
Y'all want to go on a journey with me? Watch how the start go look.
Hey, cut.
Oh, Christmas. Look at this. Look.
Boy,
Watch
take
this.
a big bite. Oh, boy. Juicy.
We had food and refreshments that brought back memories of the old days. The demand was high and the lines were long as students, teachers, and visitors eagerly waited to be served at the Genesis Under the Tree Cafe. Like fish to water, many of our students who never experienced the delight of delicacies such as salty sausage and hot sauce, or the cool refreshment of a baggie, or conch fritters made fresh from the skillet, found themselves in an ocean of old Tinkle's Bahamian culinary delights. Our first day of celebrations ended appropriately with the preschool in a Junkanoo rush out. Well, that was assuming we would be successful in getting them to line up properly for the big rush.
All right, hello, which grade is this?
K4.
K4, all right, so before the real parade, we have to practice. All right, so we need you all to line up. You all know how to line up?
Yeah.
All right, we line it up 4 across, and then the next 4, and then the next 4. It has to be in line. All right, like this, straight across and face me. All right, the first 4, come in the front here. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, only have 1 4. Now the next 4 has to go in the back of this 4. Not too close. Not too close. Yes, go in the back, right here. Let's go right there. Okay. All right, now everybody got to move side to side like this when the jumping will start. Let me see y'all practice. Right. All right, side to side.
The Junkanoo training was led by our Director of Entertainment, Mr. Avery Lightbourne, assisted by his father, Jack, a truly skilled Junkanoo drummer.
All right, let's go now. Right there.
Now, what you just witnessed may explain why Genesis is not the yet undefeated champions of Junior Junkanoo. But know this, we coming. Day 2 of the celebrations, while planned to examine a deeper side of our development over the past 50 years, began with lighthearted games from the past. The children's games were followed by a deeper look of our 50-year history as an independent nation through a series of workshops and lectures given by some of the leading authorities in their fields. We were particularly proud to have 2 of our staff members, Mr. Giorgio Knowles and Miss Ria Trico, both whom have had success as entrepreneurs.
So the startup capital since then has definitely changed. The government has launched different organizations such as the Small Business Development Center, which is a center you can go to actually meet with persons and sit down and get your business off the ground.
Mr. Carlisle Bethel, of the Free National Movement's torchbearers conducted a workshop on the requirements of leadership.
When we go through our daily lives, we see problems. We come across them all the time. We see issues, right? We see something and we say, that's not right. That could be better. Why are they doing it that way? You ask questions. And sometimes there's an answer that just don't make sense. You get an answer that just doesn't make sense. Right? But humans, we have the ability to look at it and say, okay, how could this be better? What can we do to make this better?
Our lecture series were led by two cultural giants, Dr. Nicolette Bethel and Mr. Chris Justilian, both professors of the University of the Bahamas. We also had the great fortune to have former Prime Minister, the Honorable Perry Christie, as guest lecturer. They each brought dynamism to our celebrations that added much to the credibility of what we hope to achieve in linking our students of the past, and I'm sure their presentations will long be remembered by their eager audiences. Dr. Bethel, a cultural anthropologist, playwright, theatrical producer, and former director of culture, led our students in a scintillating discussion on the potential that is inherent in our country and still largely untapped.
The great thing for the Bahamas is, given the fact that we're the biggest country in the Caribbean, we have the same landmass as Jamaica. How many Jamaicans, what's the population of Jamaica in Jamaica? Does anybody know? Okay, does anybody know what the population of the Bahamas is? About. That's exactly right, about 400,000, less than 500,000. In Jamaica, there's at least 3 million to 5 million people, okay? Yes, let's say 3 million, let's be conservative and say 3 million. In the Bahamas, we have 400,000 with the same landmass. So we have so much opportunity that we have not even begun to tap out.
Mr. Justilian, an outstanding musician, composer, recording artist, and producer, and perhaps best known as the dynamic leader of the Colors Junkanoo Group, lectured our students on the great contributions and gains of Bahamian music over the past 50 years. He did not leave without a practical lesson of getting on board with Bahamian music.
We don't hear enough of our culture and see enough of our culture on the radio, on the television, on social media and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that it isn't important, and that doesn't mean that it does not exist. Sometimes you have to go and find things out for yourself. I would say the first place to start, if you're proud to be Bahamian, is to love the things that are Bahamian. Now, some people may argue and say, well, some of the Bahamian stuff are not that good, right? But I want to put it to you as young people that you only really, really like what you're exposed to and what you try.
We were thrilled to welcome back to Genesis former Prime Minister Perry Christie as a part of our lecture series. Mr. Christie was Prime Minister when Genesis opened its doors in 2006. He officially declared the school opened on July 23, 2006. So we were happy to have him return to fulfill a promise that someday he would return to lecture at Genesis. So said, so done. There was a buzz around his visit, and our students were excited to hear the historical perspective of a former Prime Minister. Mr. Christie did not disappoint and achieved something rather unusual among high school students. He kept their attention for an hour as he shared personal, historical, and political and social observations linking our past to our present.
We must recognize at all times that you cannot fight the truth of history. When I bought the house my wife and I and family live in, the document said people of my color couldn't live there. The progress we made was to put all that stuff behind us. But we had, in my lifetime, where I could not go to a certain theater on Bay Street because of my color. And all of that was what made the country so divided. And the changes that have taken place have pushed all of that behind us. And where we became a country where the Constitution says indivisible and strong and unified. That was the whole idea. The challenge for the Bahamas is how do we continue to make this country work? Unemployment is high. I remember in my first term we created 40,000 jobs and it was not near enough. I still lost the next election. Ingram created 39,000 jobs after he beat me in that election. And I came back and beat him in the next election. So people in our country decide that they can like you for 5 years, and then 5 years they can give someone else a chance. That's how wonderful our democracy is. Okay? I saw in your exhibit over there, Bahamas here, because the government had to create a central bank, they had to create a defense force, they had to create these institutions that govern the country when we went independent. And one of the things they created was the national airline. I remember Clement Maynard coming to me and Hubert Ingram and saying, we had a law firm, that we want you to form Bahamas Air. And I was the lawyer that formed the Bahamas Air, and so it was pleasing for me to see out there, Bahamas Air will be 50 years old as well, that we played a role in the formation. I saw Sir Clifford Darling's picture there as a Governor General. I succeeded him as the Minister for National Insurance. National insurance is the social safety net for the country, where when you get pension and so forth and so on. And I was the third Minister for National Insurance. Hubert Ingram was the fourth Minister for National Health Insurance. And so you can see how connected. It's a funny kind of country, you know, because we have one law firm that produced 3 prime ministers. Terry Christie and William Davis. He came out, and then the Chief Justice came out of that law firm, the current Chief Justice and another 2 justices of the field. So I said, if you want to be a lawyer, that's the law firm to join.
The final event of the 2-day celebration was a grand midday gospel concert produced by musician extraordinaire and producer, Mr. J.D. Stewart, who led the higher level band, the house band for the performers. The concert featured 3 of our nation's top gospel performers. We were blessed by the old-style a cappella singing of the Ramming Brothers, the dynamic energy of Pastor Simeon Outen, and the mesmerizing power of Bishop Lawrence Rowe. The concert was a big success and a moving tribute to Bahamian gospel music past and present. It was the perfect ending for a stirring 2-day review of our national accomplishments of the past 50 years. Please stay tuned to our channel to see the concert in its entirety. We are so grateful for all the persons and help we received in making this celebration so special and memorable. For us, it was a great leap of faith. We have learned at Genesis to trust in the Lord, and He will deliver your path. We are proud to have as a parent the head of the National Secretariat for planning the various ceremonies and celebration of our nation's 50th anniversary. Here's how she summarized the Genesis contribution, and with her words, we end our program.
Visiting Genesis Academy has been such a joy and a pleasure and a delight for me. I walked around the campus and I've seen so much work, effort, dedication, and commitment from the team here at Genesis. It's beautiful. They have truly shown their Bahamian pride visiting the school with the school children. They had on their beautiful Genesis shirts, specially designed for the 50th anniversary in commemoration of all that we are celebrating throughout this year. So I just want to say, Genesis Academy, you truly did it. You have outdone yourself. You did it in grand style, and the country is happy.
Thank you.